Hi friends, it's Tracy from the Financial Freedom Diary, and today we are back to budget my YouTube earnings for the month of April and to make a debt payment with part of the proceeds. So I am going to flip this to where we're only looking at this paycheck bill tracker page and not the cash envelope breakdown. Nothing from this money will go into the cash envelopes. And if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to my channel, please do so. Welcome to the family. So I'm going to zoom you guys in just so you guys can see. Since this is still the month of April, I'm going to finish out April using the same color pen. But in May, I'm going to switch to black because I believe that's easier for you guys to see. It's probably easier for both of us to see. So, what is today's date? It is, gotta look at my watch. It's 4/24, so I'm gonna write that in as my day. Normally I'm on top of when I get paid from Google, and this time I was not. I had just totally forgot about it. So Google AdSense, but you know, I do check my account balance to make sure everything shakes out there. So for the month of March, if you don't know how YouTube works, you accrue the money for a month and you get paid for it the next month. So I'm accrued $205.80 for the month of March. And so that was what I received. So I'm going to put that in the actual because that's not a budgeted amount. It's actually what I got, $205.80. And since it's real simple, I don't have to, you know, like do a lot of maneuvering with it. $205.80. Let's think. What do I have? I have my quarterly taxes. That's a sinking fund. I normally don't write this out because it's a long word. Well, two long words. Well, what am I trying to say? I write big, and so I can run out of room. The next one is my YouTube savings. And the final thing that I do with it is pay some debt. So this is a Fed loan R18. Okay, and so in the bills section, I don't pay any of my bills with this, so I'm just gonna have my bill total for the actual section. I'm putting a 0 here because I have nothing going on there, and then my leftover is going to be $205.80. And then scooch that on up, $205.80. And I know I could skip these sections, but my OCD is not going to let me be. Now I have to write down here. That's one of the things that bothers my hands. $205.80. Because typically if I was in a notebook, I would skip this. I wouldn't write. I wouldn't write down here because I have long fingers that does not. It's very uncomfortable. So what's left over is $205.80. So I'm gonna put that up here in the actual. And now we're gonna get to the amounts. Now I like to set aside 30% for my taxes. $205.80 times 30%, and so it's $61.74. So that just stays over in Capital One until it's time to pay my quarterly taxes. And then I'm setting aside 20% into the YouTube savings. And the next expense I got coming up is the P.O. box. and that should be about 100. I think I paid 148 last year, so if it goes up $10, I'm trying to save at least $160 for that. 205 times 20%. I just lost track. And so that's $41.16. And so let's total those two together. No, didn't want to do that. It just added that to the 205. 41.16 plus 61.74, and that's 102.90. And so I have 102.90 left because that's just the remaining 50%. So 102.90 left over. And I put this in the extra debt section because I don't have a student loan bill that's coming up right now because of the forbearance. So I'm going to put all of that to the debt. And that's going to be the next thing that we do. So thank y'all so much for watching my videos. And thank you for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate all of you and all of the encouragement that you guys have been sending my way. It definitely makes a difference. So I've spent everything here. I have nothing left over. And I'm just going to finish out the form because if I don't, it'll drive me nuts. Leftover is 0. Savings is 0. 0. And we're going to do this 205.80 minus 102.90 minus 102.90. And so I have a zero-based budget here. And I know that's not what everybody likes to do, but just remember, in the savings, you can put like a cushion or a rollover or whatever category you want to call it that sits in your account, so you always have a buffer in the account and you'll never overspend what you actually have, because you'll have that buffer to absorb it when you do overspend. Because sometimes stuff happens, like I forget yearly subscriptions. So the next thing we're going to do is go to my Fed loan account and make the debt payment. So yay, thank y'all. We are in my Fed loan account now, so I'm going to hide these messages because I believe that we have reviewed them all. And I'm going to scroll down so y'all can see my balance. Yay! So you can see under the payments and billing section, the $1,900 payment that I made last week. I don't even remember, y'all. It cleared on the 18th on here. I need to stop trying to use my memory because it ain't working. But you can see my balance today is $28,036.93. So if you have Fed loan, the way I'm about to route into making this payment today is how you want it to go when you're trying to target just a specific loan, when you're trying to hit one. But there's two ways to do it. And I think my last Pay Debt With Me video, I showed you going through the payments and billing section. But this time we're going to go through the loan details. And the good news on here, and I need to apologize because I can hear my voice going in and out. So we're going to be paying on 18. I just totally forgot the loan. R18. I can't remember anything right now. I'm having a moment. But yeah, so now my balance is officially under the original balance that I actually borrowed. And that's the deal with capitalized interest. It will cause you to pay back more. And you will see that principal does increase. So if you want to see exactly what I'm talking about, we'll look at this 14.7, which is T20. I originally borrowed $12,000, but you can see today I owe $14,700. When you're under income-driven repayment, you have to make sure that you're paying your interest every month. When you're not paying the interest and then you come up to be recertified for the next year, what they do is they take that interest and they add it to your principal balance. And so that increases your principal balance from what your original balance was. And that's what happened to me. I used to be very, very sloppy and never really logged in because my payments came out automatically. So I thought as long as I made my payments, I was good. And I didn't watch anything. And when I got on my debt free journey and I logged in, I got this shock of a lifetime because it was like, oh, what? And I laugh about it now, but you better believe I was not laughing that day. So let's scroll down here and you can get here to make a payment on a loan. So there's a couple of ways to go about it. And so once you click on this link here from within the particular loan that you're trying to pay, it takes you to the make a one-time payment screen. But what I want you to notice is here, see how it's already on target specific loans. And then the one that I want to target is already highlighted in blue. When you go in through payments and billing, none of it's highlighted. So you have to make sure you get off of pay all loans to target specific loans. I have made the mistake of making a payment and not being on target specific loans. And what they did was they split it all up. And so once I saw that, I made sure that I looked and I found the instructions on how to target just one loan. So that way my money went the way that I wanted it to go and not the way they decided they wanted to go. I've never tried calling them and fixing anything. It was like once I learned a lesson, I just did better the next time. But I'm guessing that you probably could call and have them fix it. I don't really trust FedLoan and the people who answer the phone there. And I'm not saying anybody's related to cousins and all this other crazy stuff. Um, it's just I know I've gotten bad advice from FedLoan when I've called in. So I'm just like, I only called in when I got a big discrepancy or they're putting bad information on my credit report. So I tabbed out here. So 102.90 is what I'm going to pay on this one. And today is Saturday. So I'm going to put the payment in for the 24th and select my checking account. Now I'm going to advance you guys to the payment confirmation page and I will be right back. Well, all right. So now that payment has been made for 102.90. And so that's going to drop this one down to 5334.03. And so I will, I have one more thing that's coming up that I need to do. I need to pay my utility bill. I did check my utility account, and so my bill is not ready. I think last month, March and February, it was available on the 26th. So I'm going to try again on the 26th to see if it's ready, and then I will make that payment. If that balance is less than what I budgeted $275. So if that balance is less than 275, what I'll do is take that difference and put it to my student loan debt and then clean that up. So that'll help to my total debt payment for the month. Now, the whole thing with the utilities, that's something I came up with like very early on in my debt-free journey. It was just another opportunity for me to be able to put a little extra money to my student loans. Because, utilities is one of those things that depend on the circumstances. I felt like I could control. I could do my best to control it. So now I'm back on my account summary page. Get my words all mixed up. And so it's 102.90 here. And so yeah, that's gonna drop it down to 27,900 and something dollars. So that's super good. I'm super happy with that. Thank y'all so much for watching the videos and supporting the channel, because this is the payment coming from the Google AdSense money. And without you doing that, I wouldn't be able to do this. And every dime adds up. So don't ever let anyone make you feel like your payments are too small or you shouldn't, if you choose to put every extra cent you have to your debt, it all matters, no matter how small. So I'm trying to look for a transaction And in mine, I'm trying to get back into the history, so I don't have enough history here. So I'm gonna try to get all my history with Fed loan, and I'm gonna do a little filter on this. I should have put one more filter on here for just my payments, because I want to show you guys, because I've had some really low ones, and it was all based on I put that rule into place and I just followed through. It's like I don't care if it's let's see, I'm gonna put in page 12 all the way back. Because I don't know where it's gonna fall. I don't care if it's $5. I don't care if it's $3. That was the rule, and so I need to follow it. And so really it was just building the muscle and saying, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. And I followed through with that, and not doing anything different than that, because I can always find an excuse to go and buy something. But how is that something going to help me out of the situation that I'm in right now? And a lot of times it does not. It just ends up being that I just, you stay in the same place, or the situation is actually getting worse. So let's see. And so you can see these really small payments in here. And a lot of these came from when I was side hustling. This 1488 sounds like something that would have came from the savings in my utility bill. Because I used to pay my light bill, put that to my debt. If I was out there side hustling, I would put that on a student loan. And I had to find a strategy for this, because it was just eating everything. And it wasn't until I got on debt free journey did I really understand how much of my money was going to interest and how much it was hurting me. So you'll see these little 55-cent payments. I don't remember doing it, but obviously I did. And I know what it is. It was one of the loans. I had this $100-some loan. And I remember going in, putting that in there, because I used to play and see how much would it go to the principal, how much would go to the interest. And I used to play with it every month just to kind of see the cause and effect of things. And so look here, you can see I had one on October 16th. I put a payment in for $10.37. I put a payment in for $4.63. But I was really just trying to figure it all out and trying to find the best thing that worked for me. And so I just came up with these little rules when it came to some of my bills. So when I needed to save a little something extra to put into my cushion, because I wasn't comfortable having $100 sitting in my checking account, any savings from other areas. So if I save money on the gas, if I save money on anything else, I would let that go to my cushion. And then the cash envelopes, that was like layer 3. And they all were implemented over time. It wasn't all at once. You guys see it and I do it all at once. But it was like savings from the utilities. How am I going to use it? I'm going to apply it here. Savings from gas and other areas that flow through my checking account. What am I going to do with that? I'm going to keep that in my cushion. Um, what about the cash envelopes? Because I had a problem with cash envelopes, because if you guys were around when I first had started my channel, I was an envelope cheater, which meant that I just would, I sometimes, because my kids are grown, I just kind of felt like, well, I'm free, woo, and so I'm not cooking. And I would go to the restaurants, and so I was eating out 3 times a day, because I would get breakfast at work because we have a cafeteria there. I would sometimes eat lunch at work, or I would go outside, and then I would buy dinner on my way home. And so I was doing all of that. And so I was just like pulling money from the other categories to supplement that. And so it was just kind of like, as long as it stayed in the cash envelopes, I would excuse it as it's okay, because I'm not affecting my debt payment. And so I'm like, what kind of lost opportunity I got going on here? What did I lose because I'm not monitoring this? And so that's where the weekly check-ins came from. I saw someone doing it on YouTube. And so I said, I need to do this. And so I just decided to gamify it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to save $50. And then Brenda came along and Brenda was like, why don't you try to save $60? And so I changed it up to 60. Um, and that's where all that came from. But every little bit over time helped because gradually things start picking up. And I'm about to close in on having paid off $100,000. And you guys, it took me from June 15th of 2017 to November 9th of 2018 to get under $100,000 in debt. And my balance on November 9th of 2018 was $99,352.16. So if you are new and it's your first year and you tell me you had a tough time and your debt didn't move that much, I truly understand because I was there. I know how long it took me. And I mean, even though that was just a difference of $28,300 to my debt, I actually paid out a lot more than that because I mean, I had to be paying over $400 a month in interest to my student loans, let alone the credit cards, let alone the car, let alone, well, technically it was cars, one I had and one that got totaled and I didn't have gap insurance. The personal loan. I was paying all this interest out. And I had to get that money back. I had to get rid of those debts, get rid of that interest that came along with those debts. So that way I can apply it and then you can see the payments, the debt payment, the debt total. Get the words right, Tracy. The debt total moving quickly. Because it wasn't at first. It was not. And so I do understand in that first year can be very, very frustrating for people. And I was there. And I remember someone asked me to do a year-over-year comparison, and then I did the comparison, and people were coming in a video where it only moved this much, it only moved that much, and it's like, no, you look at my income today. That was my income then. Like there's so many factors that go into it, and you're not looking at what was the interest rate and a lot of that stuff that I had. They don't have a clue, so it's easy to say, well, God, you're not doing enough. No, you may be doing as much as you can with what you have, and that's just a current state. It doesn't have to stay the same. You can change all of that. So I also want to show you this. The principal that I paid, $64,587. Look at the interest that I paid, $22,294. And the total amount I paid is $86,881. And I still owe I still owe 27. Well, might as well go ahead and say 28,000. So you see that, I mean, back then I borrowed, I think the debt total, my student loan total was like 60, it was in the 60s. I want to say it was like 60, either 61, 63. It was some odd number. That's probably why it's not committed to my memory. It shocked the crap out of me. That was number 2. It really messed me up. But you can see how it grew because I was under IDR and I was not making, my payments weren't big enough. Because if you were watching as I was scrolling from page 12 back to get to, so I can show you those small payments that I was putting in, you'll see I was making $100 payments a month. But in my head, I'm making my payments on time and everything's fine. I was not even watching that capitalized interest, turning in my paperwork. And I would even turn that in on time. So we ain't going to talk about all that. I was a mess with a lot of the things that I was doing. And so I just want to show you that. And hopefully, if you're just starting out and you're not seeing the movement as fast as you would like, it does take some patience. And that first year, I always tell people, whoever asks me, that I think the first year is about creating the new habits and then catching and looking and making sure you understand your accounts. How is that interest working? And how can you start to make an impact so you can reduce your interest over that time, so it works for you, not getting discouraged, reducing the urge for splurges was something I had to control because I love a treat. And now it's to the point where I barely want to do it. So you have to reduce it if you want to, especially if you're single. If you're single, it's a whole nother beast and you don't have that other party that can help make that money. too, because when it's two people working together, that momentum, it gets going. But when it's one person, it's all you, and there's only so much effort you got in you. Fatigue and everything else can set in. You can get sick, anything can happen, and so you're really relying on yourself, and so you have to be a little bit more, how can I say it, diligent, because it's only you. You don't have to get anything approved by anybody, but you also don't have anybody to kind of rein you back in when you need it. So sometimes you need to be pulled back in to catch yourself, because especially when you get discouraged. But yes, so thank you guys so much for watching the video, and thank y'all for watching all of my videos. I appreciate all of you so much. I love y'all. Y'all don't know how much you encourage me, because it's like a roller coaster. Some days emotionally, sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. And I want to be like some people and just be able to go and splurge on stuff. But, I always think about the opportunity cost. What is going to be lost to me with that one time, that one decision that I make. If it's a $2,000 decision, it keeps me in debt a whole month. So since I know that, I was like, oh, I'm not making that one. We make less than $100 mistakes if we can. But that's what I do. But thank y'all so much for watching. I do appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all taking y'all time to watch my videos and comment on my videos, because you guys have kept me company through a very challenging time, and I appreciate you. So I will talk to you guys on Tuesday. And I think, what's the video for Tuesday? I don't even know. But I'm gonna see you on Tuesday. I'm gonna be on time, and I'm not gonna be so forgetful as I am right now. I need to eat. That's the problem. I ain't had nothing to eat. Breakfast sounds good right now. So I'm going to go take my butt downstairs and make myself some breakfast. But thank y'all so much for watching, and y'all have a good one. I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.